Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of CBS News Philadelphia. I'm Natasha Brown. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are paying tribute to the life and legacy of the late New Jersey Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. Now, Oliver died unexpectedly last week at the age of 71 after an undisclosed medical issue. Right now, a three-day celebration of life for Oliver is beginning in Trenton, New Jersey, and that is where she will lie in state at the New Jersey State House Rotunda, and visitors will be able to filter through all throughout today, beginning around noontime. Now, tomorrow, Oliver's casket will be moved to the Essex County Historic Courthouse in Newark, and then a state funeral will be held for her on Saturday, also in Newark, where she grew up. A member of the Democratic Party, Oliver was a trailblazer in politics, one of New Jersey's most prominent black leaders. She started her political career in 2003 when she was elected to serve the 34th Legislative District in the state of New Jersey in the General Assembly. In 2010, she became the first black woman to serve as Assembly Speaker and then as Lieutenant Governor in 2017. Now, Oliver touched many lives before she passed away, not just in her home state of New Jersey. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says she, quote, knocked down barriers for women of color in government, climbing the ranks to the highest levels. South Jersey reporter Brandon Goldner spoke with those who worked alongside her very closely and those who grew up with her.
So help me God. Thank you, Chief.
As he watched Sheila Oliver become New Jersey's first black lieutenant governor, Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin says he took stock of the room.
You saw in the faces of other people of color how important it was to them. So it was a really special moment. And something that I think that all of us should be proud of.
He says Lieutenant Governor Oliver was a passionate leader and made sure to give all sides of an issue equal weight.
But I think she was somebody who managed to touch each of the members. I think every member thought they had a good working relationship with the Speaker and an inordinate amount of respect that went both ways.
Tina Jordan is a cousin of Lieutenant Governor Oliver, and she says growing up, Oliver was an inspiration to young black women like herself.
And we always thought of Sheila as a celebrity. You know, she had a Jaguar when no black person we knew had a Jaguar. But she was always so down to earth, like I couldn't believe it.
In a statement, Governor Murphy says in part, quote, she brought a unique and invaluable perspective to our public policy discourse and served as an inspiration to millions of women and girls everywhere, especially young women of color. Jordan says she was particularly an inspiration to her family, including her brother Chucky.
He called me yesterday in tears and he said, Tina, Sheila didn't open her eyes, but I said bye, Sheila, and she opened up her eyes and said bye, Chucky, and I love you. And he was shaken, thinking that that would be the last words he would hear from his sister.
Brandon Goldner, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Well, you just heard a little right there from Sheila Oliver's family member, Tina Jordan, in that story. We will hear more from her later in this special. Meantime, days after Oliver's death, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy reflected back on her life and legacy, emphasizing her relationship not only with his family, but also her dynamic role in politics.
From the day Sheila agreed to join me in our first campaign in 2017, I have relied on her counsel, her compassion, and her courage at every single turn. And during our past 6 years of partnership, and it was, by the way, almost 6 years to the day, she had become an honorary member of the family. We posted, after her passing, I think Tuesday, late in the day, a photograph from the night that we introduced Sheila to our kids, a magical evening in the East Ward in Newark. And it's a night we'll never forget. She became to them almost like an aunt, and she was a sister to Tammy and me. Sheila was a trailblazer in every sense of the word. Over her more than 5 decades in public service, she made history again and again as the first black woman to serve as Speaker of the General Assembly, as the first woman of color elected to statewide office in our state's history, and as the highest-ranking black woman to ever serve the people of New Jersey. But above all, Sheila was the pride and joy of Essex County. As governor, I relied on Sheila to shape our administration's policies on revitalizing our cities, expanding affordable housing, supporting our neighbors in need, and so much more. And I relied on Sheila not only because of her expertise and brilliance, but because she brought her lived experience to the table, both as a child of Newark and as a longtime resident of East Orange. She was an inspiration, an icon, and an irreplaceable friend, confidant, and leader.
Well, Governor Murphy also touched on why he chose Oliver as a running mate without hesitation. He highlighted some of her career achievements and goals.
If you look at her resume, she's almost, if not singular, in the level of public service at all levels of government in an uncanny way, at the community level, at the county level, in the legislature, in a variety of capacities, Board of Education, as I recall, in East Orange. I mean, it's just one thing after another. And I thought to myself, I'm new to state government in New Jersey. Wouldn't it be good to have a partner who not only stood for the right things and with which I had great chemistry, and by the way, who was an icon, let me say that explicitly, especially among young girls and women of color, but who had this resume that was a showstopper to boot. And when you added up all of that, it was a no-brainer.
Well, let's go here to a shot from earlier of the rotunda inside the Trenton State House now, where Oliver's body is lying in state. The public is invited to pay their respects shortly before noontime. That will start happening. What's happening now, and what has been happening since 10:30, is that state lawmakers are given a chance here privately to filter through and pay their final respects. Now, Oliver was a pioneer who fought for fair housing, for gun control, and so much more. Our Brandon Goldner spoke with a member of the NAACP and says that Oliver's absence will be felt for some time.
As she became New Jersey's first black lieutenant governor, NAACP New Jersey State Conference's Crystal Charlie says many black women like herself viewed Sheila Oliver as a model for what can be achieved.
You instantly felt the void as soon as the word rang out. Her work, this was her life's work. And not many of us can say we can have that same type of commitment to anything, let alone a commitment that betters so many other lives.
A commitment to being a trailblazer and a policymaker, particularly when it came to affordable housing.
Lieutenant Governor Oliver was an absolute force of nature and a kind-hearted, strategic, smart, dedicated, compassionate leader.
Stacey Berger is the president and CEO of the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. She credits Lieutenant Governor Oliver's leadership at the start of the pandemic for preventing widespread foreclosures and evictions.
She personally and her staff and her colleagues worked tirelessly to make sure that that did not happen, that everybody in New Jersey was safe as could possibly be.
Charlie says the New Jersey NAACP plans to honor Lieutenant Governor Oliver at its statewide gathering in October. Meanwhile, she hopes Governor Phil Murphy will also find a specific way to honor her legacy.
And Governor Murphy is doing just that already. He has commissioned an official portrait of Oliver. Once completed, it will be displayed in the New Jersey State House. Now, also, all U.S. and New Jersey flags in New Jersey are flying at half-staff in Oliver's honor for 1 month. Governor Murphy issued that order to lower flags on all state buildings beginning on August 4th. They will stay that way through September 4th. Now, Sheila Oliver shattered glass ceilings, and she certainly had an impact on everyone that she came in contact with. Christine Sloan from our sister station CBS New York tells us how Oliver's memory will endure through the women she mentored.
Purple bunting in front of New Jersey Assemblywoman Brittany Timberlake's office in East Orange.
How many people can literally say that they have met the physical manifestation of blazing a trail for you? And that's what she did for me.
Timberlake was Sheila Oliver's replacement in this legislative district, when Oliver became lieutenant governor.
Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver was my dear friend, my dear mentor. This very desk that I sit at is hers. This very chair that I sit in is hers. Looking at her as an icon in those spaces did something for this young black woman.
Timberlake says Oliver taught her to be a legislator and to be the voice for the community. She also says the 71-year-old encouraged her to embrace motherhood.
It's the loss that feels so personal to me, but it's really the loss that's for the entire state. Even across borders, we've hosted 4 international delegations from West Africa together.
To so many black women, it literally shattered us.
Women Oliver mentored say the political world won't be the same without her.
She's an icon, but she's also one of the most kind, gentle, sweet, and dynamic women that you ever get the pleasure of knowing. So for her not to be here is a seismic shift and a seismic loss.
Shantae Palmer served on the New Jersey Legislative Black Caucus Foundation with the late lieutenant governor and knew her for years.
Business owners and not-for-profit organizations alike, we're all feeling a real loss. She will forever be missed, and I'll hold her dearly in my heart.
In Newark, Christine Sloan, CBS 2 News.
Well, you can feel the grief and the loss there among those who knew her well. A mentor, a role model, an icon is how they will forever describe her. Now we are looking again inside the rotunda here at the Trenton State House. This is where the former lieutenant governor is lying in state. At 10:30 this morning, state legislators were able to start passing through to pay their final respects before the public will be allowed to do so. We're now seeing that flowers are now adorning the casket. There is a portrait of her there as well that's displayed right beside the casket, and the American flag, of course, draping that casket. Now, we are, of course, going to stay on top of this today and talk to so many who knew her, other assemblymen and women who want to sing her praises and describe her legacy and what she meant to her home state of New Jersey. I spoke with Pennsylvania House Speaker Joanna McClinton via Zoom. She is blazing a trail of her own here in the state of Pennsylvania, but we talked to her about the impact that Oliver had on her trailblazing efforts and career.
So Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver is a true trailblazer, has made his nation several times. She's a guiding light to women like myself in state government, and it is very sad to see that she suddenly has left not only this planet, but her service to all of her neighbors in New Jersey.
Well, Lieutenant Governor Oliver also leaves behind a legacy of helping those in need. She was also the commissioner of New Jersey's Department of Community Affairs, where she helped to expand initiatives for affordable housing and homelessness prevention. Christine Sloan introduces us to a nonprofit program that the Lieutenant Governor spearheaded.
St. James Social Service Corporation in Newark, a place where those in need can get a bite to eat or pick up essentials for their families. The program's executive director had a close friendship with the lieutenant governor. She remembers the day Sheila Oliver was appointed to New Jersey's Department of Community Affairs.
I knew it was going to be a great thing for us, for nonprofits like us who were in need in the state of New Jersey, because she had a heart.
Vesta Godwin Clark says her heart broke into pieces when she heard about Oliver's death.
I just broke down because it was just devastating.
She says St. James was able to survive because of the grants Oliver approved.
She knew that what we did and what we do is from the heart. It's not for fame or recognition.
Last time she communicated with Oliver in July when she texted her this birthday video.
We sang happy birthday. A simple response was a heart.
Soul Food Cafe is one of the services the nonprofit offers. Jennifer Elizabeth Ferguson is the chef here.
They love my cooking and I love people. It's a great meal, and also I can get together with the other people that are in the same situation with me.
Places like this need to be more around because there's a lot of hungry people out here in Newark.
Soul Food Cafe feeds up to 200 people a day. St. James also has this food pantry. Last month, they served more than 4,000 people in need.
All we can do is to continue to do what we do and make her proud.
She says the last grant Oliver approved will allow the organization to purchase equipment as well as offer other initiatives to prevent homelessness. In Newark, Christine Sloan, CBS 2 News.
Well, we have been looking live there inside the New Jersey State House Rotunda in Trenton as a steady stream of mourners, many of whom are fellow state legislators and state assembly members who worked very closely with former Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. Many who have been streaming by, very tearful, tears in their eyes at the sudden death and sudden passing of their Lieutenant Governor there in New Jersey. This will be happening all day today for the most part, where they're allowing the public to come through and pay their final respects to this, again, role model and icon, a legend in the state of New Jersey. Now, New Jersey Deputy Majority Leader Assemblyman William Moen paid his respects inside the rotunda this morning. We spoke with him just a short time ago about what it was like working closely with the late Lieutenant Governor and what he hopes she is remembered for most.
The Lieutenant Governor was Speaker of the Assembly about a decade ago. That's when I was a staffer in the Assembly. And so I worked with her from that perspective. I think one of the fond memories I have is after she gavelled out a session and finished up the day, she'd come down from the dais and shake hands and greet her colleagues. And she met me as a staffer with the same level of respect and dignity, I think, that she did with her colleagues. And so that was something as a young 20-something-year-old staffer that always stuck with me. And it's really something I think I try to incorporate in my life as, you know, as I am now a member of the Assembly. And I think just from my perspective, it's a sad day. And I'd say it's a solemn day for the state of New Jersey. It was a profound loss for the entire state. And I think from our perspective, we find ourselves now in a situation where we were very grateful to have the time and commitment that she's given to us through her life of service. And now it's important for us as the next generation to keep that in mind, but to build upon her legacy. And that's something that I look forward to doing myself.
Well, while the entire state of New Jersey is, of course, in mourning right now, so is her family, as you can only imagine. Ms. Oliver is also being remembered on a much more personal level there by her family members who knew her outside of the political spotlight. Now, we spoke with her cousin, Tina Jordan, about what kind of person she was and the love she shared with those closest to her.
She was always giving, but it was family first for her. Her mother and her brother, her nieces, her cousins. It was always family first, but she still managed to give to the community, her larger family, in any way that she could. Her education, her experience, her mentorship. So it was always the best for humankind, especially women of color.
Well, again, today does begin a 3-day celebration of Oliver's life. It does continue tomorrow in Essex County, where her casket will lie in state at the Essex County Historic Courthouse in her home city of Newark. And then a state funeral will be held Saturday, also in Newark. New Jersey is collectively grieving and honoring the life and legacy of trailblazing Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. Her irreplaceable contributions to public service in her home state of New Jersey will certainly never be forgotten. Now, we will be rebroadcasting this live special here on our streaming service at 11:30, and we will also have the very latest as New Jerseyans continue to pay tribute to the late Lieutenant Governor today as she lies in state at the Rotunda in the State House in Trenton. That's coming up at noon on CBS News Philadelphia. We'll have more then.